Hi, everyone. It's Emil. It's Emil Guillermo. Emil Amok to you. We're live because that's how you feel like you're alive. You just go on live, and you are live. There's no question about it. You may be in a closet, but you're live, and whoever comes your way. How you doing, everyone? It's Friday. It is the 13th, and if you have that certain phobia about 13s, well, I know I'm not the first person to talk to you about it, but I actually, I know, more recently than not, have found myself liking the number 13. I've become uh, not a not 13 phobic, but a 13ophile, except when it comes to Brock Purdy. I mean, he's okay, but boy, the 49ers looked pathetic last night. I get to talk about that because I'm from the West Coast and I'm generally more of course, more of a 49er fan than a Rams fan. Truth be told, always more of a Raider fan until they stomped on my heart and moved away several times. So I'm not a Raider fan anymore. It takes a while, it takes a lot to like change, your habit. Like if you grew up with a team, and I grew up with the 49ers, and then when the 49ers were bad, exceedingly bad, even though they had John Brody, he was good for a while. But then I went away to the Raiders, and the Raiders got good. They were great, the Raiders. And then the Raiders went bad, and I had to sidle back to the 49ers, and they had Joe Montana, 1981, right? And the Steve Young years and those great years. And I know they're trying to replicate that, but they just aren't good. They just aren't that good a team. And I don't know what happened to Debo Samuel. It's like maybe you put Debo Samuel Sr. on there and made him act like a senior, because he's not like Debo Samuel was when he first got on the scene and was like feared. But that's what happens if you put your body on the line, and people, you can't just freeze, where you were, say, years ago, not that many years ago, what, 3 4 years ago. You can't just freeze that and say, yeah, you're that way. You're not a machine. It takes its toll, and he's not that good. As a person who has lost a step or two, I can relate. Anyway, so that was last night's game, but that's not the reason why I was not here yesterday. I was not here yesterday because I had surgery, and that brings up the topic. I want to talk about Luigi Healthcare. I don't know what Luigi Healthcare would be. He just knows he doesn't like United Healthcare. I had United Healthcare for a while. They actually weren't as bad as most healthcare insurers. The problem with healthcare insurers is that they're basically cut from the same cloth, and they're dealing with a pool of insureds that dictates everything. So if you got a smaller pool of insureds putting in money, the insurance company wants you all to be well, because then it's just a big pool of money and they can pay out to people as they get sick in a sort of natural or maybe catastrophic basis. They'll have the money to take care of you. But if you don't have enough money in the pool and everyone starts getting sick, oh my God, then the insurance model sort of falls apart. And I think that's sort of the problem with healthcare systems. You need a plan that is going to be a bigger pool. I mean, that's the whole thing about universal healthcare. To make universal healthcare work, it's everyone in the pool, large, vast sums of money. We can withstand just about anything. I mean, although if everyone suddenly got sick and you had catastrophic instances, that might be a problem. But generally, then you have people reinsuring the insurers. So this is the way the system works. And I think the problem with Luigi and other people is that they are with insurers that start off kind of limited, because they're private. I think if you had a system that allowed for vast sums of money to insure all of us, this is like the basic point about universal health care. If you got everyone in the pool, then you'll be able to cover everyone to the degree that they need. The actuarials will have to, the actuaries rather would have to figure that out. But I had to use my insurance yesterday. I had to go get some surgery, oral surgery, which is different. I mean, not that much different. I mean, they put a local. You're not knocked out totally with the general anesthetic. But my God, oral surgery, it's rugged. It's like you're in a fight to maintain your composure throughout on, and you might have a local, but they're drilling in there and you hear the sound. Yeah. And then of course with the local, I was all numbed up. Right. And fortunately, now here's my beef with the insurance. I had something called implant surgery. That's right. For my new job at Hooters. Yeah. No. The D stands for dental. It was dental implants, which seems to be it's sort of the standard now. If you have a tooth that needs extracting and replacing, they don't put bridges or other kinds of instruments in there that end up wrecking. The bridge has to instead, you're trying to replace one big tooth, right? So to hang a replacement tooth into that hole, you got to destroy the two teeth on the opposite sides because you got to hang the bridge somewhere. So it doesn't make sense to me, right? A bridge. And it doesn't last that long. So I went the implant route because what the hell? It's a screw they put in. It sounds gruesome, but there's bone there in your jaw. They put a screw in there, which is intended to become part of your bone, right? Or it just is packed in there with the bone in the jaw. And then they let it sit. And then when I go back, they're going to put a crown or another fake tooth on top of that screw. And now I'll have a molar, and then I can chew my lovely vegetables, which I love to eat. Because now if you want to go on a diet, you got to go on this. You should get implants or something, some kind of oral surgery, because you can't eat. And then you can practice your fasting, which I'm doing. So it's just wild what they do. This implant. So I get the implant, and they put sutures in so that the screw stays down there. And then in a couple of weeks, I go back. It heals, and then they'll plan to put this crown on it. Now, what I just described to you is the basic procedure. They said it was cosmetic. You don't need it. And this is like a procedure that costs thousands of dollars. And this is my beef with health insurance. And if you have dental with your health insurance, you're lucky. But the claim was, that's cosmetic. Oh yeah, like if you have a missing molar and you want to replace it with something, that's cosmetic. Oh, Emil can't chew. It's cosmetic if he's unable to chew. It's not a necessity. I mean, I don't understand. Anyway, so that's my beef with it. I mean, I finally just did it because I figured, well, have you ever tried chomping on your gum? I mean, there's your molar's out and you just have the gum, and you're essentially just chewing on your gum. That's no fun. So you end up eating, soups and stews and beans and, liquid stuff because chewing's hard. Anyway, there's no complaining to the insurer, right? I just thought this was the time to do the procedure. I got it done. We'll see if what part of the costs are covered, but from what I'm told, generally it's not very much. And that's really at the crux of the Luigi healthcare problem, and that is the definitions are so narrow or broad based on, and this is all actuarial, based on the experience of the insurer, like how many people need this, how much money they have, and then they pay it out if no one's having it, but if everyone's having it, they're not paying it out, which is a weird way of doing insurance, but that's how the insurers justify it. We'll pay it out if no one's doing it, and then you need it, we'll give it. We'll pay for it. But if everyone's doing it, oh, that's not good. Now we got to pay less because we got to cover all these people from the pool of money we have. And if they have a limited pool of money, then they're not going to pay very much. Or they'll move the definition over to, well, must be cosmetic. Everyone's getting it. See, it doesn't make sense. So the problem with insurers right now is, and Luigi has helped expose this, although he probably could have done it with some op-eds. He probably could have done it by writing or lobbying his congressman. I mean, he was from a well-to-do family in Baltimore. The family owns a WCBM, which is an AM station that has always been conservative, has always had the most. If you thought Rush Limbaugh was right wing, they were more extreme than Rush Limbaugh, right? So you can imagine how far right they are. So it's like out pops Luigi, wealthy, scion of privilege, goes to an Ivy League school. They say Ivy League because it sounds better than Penn. People say Penn. You went to Penn? That sounds interesting. Penn. Is that like the opposite of, I don't know, Penn? Oh, see, you don't get it if you're from like California. You say, oh, Penn must be Pennsylvania, or Penn, is that the opposite of pencil? Penn. See, and what you really want to say is, oh, he's privileged, Ivy League. So in all the stories, Ivy League this, Ivy League that, part of the denigration of the Ivy League. America wants to dump on the Ivy League, and it's not fair. It's not fair. You can dump on the Ivy League for a lot of other reasons, but it's not fair to dump on it because of Luigi. Luigi actually was going the right path. He was a right-wing scion who discovered, hey, healthcare means something. If you're a real person in pain and need help, healthcare means something. And what we noticed today is that, according to more info from the police, Luigi Mangione did not have a direct relationship with United Healthcare. He wasn't a patient. He just picked United Healthcare because they were the biggest and the baddest. So we're really talking about a real healthcare debate issue here, and not some personal issues because Luigi was denied healthcare. But that's why, thing about healthcare, you don't want to think about it. It's good when you don't need it. It's great when you don't need it. It's cheap when you don't need it. And then when you need it, you cross your fingers and hope you paid the price to have it, because then you're good. But a lot of people say, first thing to go, we'll cut the premium. We'll cut out we won't pay the premium. We're not going to pay the bill. That's a big mistake. You need insurance. Insurance is insurance. Insurance, and I say this as someone who is licensed to sell insurance. And so I know insurance. I don't sell healthcare insurance, though. I sell the other insurance that people hate. Life insurance, which is, look, if you don't like life insurance, I get it. I get it. There's like premiums and you think it might be invasive. But here's the thing. If something should happen to you, who's going to take care of the kids? Where's the money going to come from to pay the mortgage? Where's the money going to come from to help your wife pay for your funeral? That's really the basic thing. Or where's the money going to come from to help her transition? A lot of people say when they're alive, they say, I'm not going to pay my wife to transition to another husband. Are you kidding me? Well, there's the kids. Okay, the kids. What about the kids? Who's going to pay for if you are the breadwinner? A lot of times, people come from, 2 paycheck marriages. That's an old phrase. No one says 2 paycheck marriages anymore. I don't think. I mean, because it's not a big thing now. People just assume, oh, well. But the double income, folks. But if you lose an income, what happens? That's what it is. Insurance is a replacement income. But you pay it. You pay the premium. Hopefully, you're in good health, because that's the price. You got to be in good health to get the cheapest insurance. You got to be young and healthy, get the cheapest insurance. You buy it, and then you're set. And if something happens to you and it ends in your demise, hey, your loved ones are taken care of. That's life insurance. That kind of makes sense. But a lot of people say, oh, we can forego that. We don't need it. Because, like if I die, I'm not going to pay for my widow's plastic surgery so she ends up looking like, she's 30. I wouldn't say that. That's what some people have told that to me. I'm not going to pay for my wife to get back on the dating scene and marry husband number 2. So where's your love? Where's your love for your husband? Anyway, that's life insurance. Healthcare insurance, it's the same sort of thing. But if you're not going to have it, you got to be healthy. And if you're going to do risky things and eat foods that are going to cause you, bad health outcomes, you better have it before you have that bad health outcome. Because, if you filled out any kind of application for insurance, there's a list of questions that you're asked. It says, do you do this, or do you have this? And if you're no, you're great. Get the lowest rates, get insured. But if you have even one yes, and suddenly, oh, your rates are going higher, $100 more a year or whatever. So insurance works in this way, and definitions are so important. Like what is it covering, and that's why the only answer really to the Luigi problem is, yeah, United Healthcare is not good. One of the head guys at United Healthcare, Andrew Whitty, wrote a piece for the New York Times today. And of course, it's absolutely crazy that Brian Thompson, the CEO who was murdered, people are starting to use the term assassinated. It's sad that there are some people who are still cheering. I don't know if cheering is the way, but let's just put it that there's little sympathy for the wealthy and for the people who act as judge and juror on whether or not something gets paid. Like I said, I just got denied on something. People said, oh, your dental implant is cosmetic. We're not paying it. I said, what? I mean, this is like several $1,000s out of my pocket. And so I'm sensitive to this, but it's all about what insurer you go to, how much money they have, and how they define the ailment you're dealing with. And maybe it means you got to shop around more. Maybe it means, like when this United Healthcare guy wrote this op-ed, Andrew Whitty, New York Times today. Essentially, he says, yeah, it's broken. We got to do a better job. But everything's kind of piecemeal. They need to do something to make the system better. But look, he doesn't want to say the obvious thing. and he's a private insurer, so he's saying, yeah, we could probably fix it. It's broken, but we got to fix it, offering no real solutions. The one thing they could fix is communication, better definitions about what's going on, about why things are, telling people why they're denied, and explaining that, suddenly there's a rush on these kind of instances and we can't pay it. So, I mean, the actuaries are figuring out how to cover, because they're like, insurers are like bookies, they take bets on all sides. And if you're going to bet one side and it seems like you are less healthy, you're going to pay more. If you're less healthy, if you're more healthy, you'll pay less. And then hopefully it all comes out in the wash with a small profit for them, but it's not a small profit for them. It's usually a big profit. That's where people get really weirded out about insurance, because it seems like the insurance companies are making confiscatory profits, which they are, or they're allowed to. I mean, the insurance game is all about money, all about getting money into a pool and then sharing that money in a pool. And then if a company can't handle it, they're covered by reinsurers who back them up. Oh, guess who's the biggest reinsurer in the United States? I think it's Warren Buffett. Berkshire Hathaway, yeah. Big reinsurers. And they're in the auto insurance game, but they're in everything. Geico does everything. So I understand why people hate insurance. And I think it's weird when people understand that they need it and they buy it. This is the key. When they get it and they buy it and they get denied. How many times has this happened to you? Let's go from health insurance to any other kind of insurance, like home insurance. Just an example. Fence of mine busted by the wind. I got house insurance. Go to the house insurance. Okay, great. We'll cover it. Oh, you got $1,000 deductible to keep your rates down. $1,000. Okay. Well, how much is the damage? $900. Oh, I guess you're stuck with that. Thanks, Emil. Bye. That's how insurance works. And it's terrible. It's like, oh, I'm insured, but I'm not insured. Great. I still got to pay out of pocket. Oh, it's only for catastrophic cases. Oh. So my fence is down is bad, but if my fence is down and all the fences, not just one section, but all the fences, and then my house burned down also, then I'd be covered. But then if everyone was in that situation, then probably they'd say, oh, well, this is an act of God, Emil. And we don't cover acts of, you don't cover acts of God. Well, where's in it? Oh, God. You know how you always, like, if you do this online, you just scroll through and just go to the bottom and say, yeah, accept. Oh, God, the act of God clause. I'm telling you, sometimes you see, all they really wanted was my premium. All they really wanted was my money. Did they want to put out for services to help me at all? The answer is no. That's why people are upset with insurance. It's a basic thing why people hate insurance, because they don't get the concept that the benefit of it is when nothing bad has happened, but you have insurance. Don't you feel the benefit? Hey, look, you're paying $100, $200, whatever a month. The bad thing you're insuring against hasn't happened. But you know what? You're covered. Doesn't that make you feel good? Say it doesn't quite. I've given you $200 for the month and I'm covered, but nothing's happened. I got nothing from you. I just kept paying money. You see, it's a product that doesn't make sense, right? I'm giving you $200, and just in case something bad happens, like I get, cancer, or I get, well, cancer, there's no cure. But if, something catastrophic, and I'll get health coverage, but nothing's happened. So who wins? Did I win because nothing happened to me and I didn't get any services from you? That's why people feel upset. Meanwhile, who wins? The insurers. They get you $200 a month times a million, or however many people they insure. But and what do they do with the money? When you're well, they just put that money in a pool. They put it in a pool and they loan it out to other people. And they make money on that. It's just one pool of money, right? When you have money and you have it, what's the interest rate? Credit cards are what, 24, 28, 18, and 21. They'll loan it to people, business people, 7%, 5%, whatever. Maybe a little more at a profit. It's all about making profit. And meanwhile, Americans who have paid the money in premium, to the insurance company, they're saying, did I get anything out of this? I just gave you my money, but you were protected, sir. Oh yeah, I was, but nothing happened. Well, your fears and anxieties were allayed by buying our $200 a month insurance. But I got nothing from you guys. Oh, but had you been hurt, had something gone wrong, we would have helped you. We would have been there for you. Just keep paying that premium. See, there's no real satisfactory answer unless you get to that point where something does happen. Like yesterday, I had to go in and get this oral surgery, and I went to the insurer to say, hey, insurer, aren't you going to cover this oral surgery? And they said, oh, no, we're not. That's cosmetic, Emil. That's not. That's a cos. Having a back molar is cosmetic. A back molar no one sees. That's cosmetic. God, I'm telling you. And I know insurance. I sell stuff. Not much these days, but I've sold it before. And look, when it works, it's great, right? When you buy enough of it. Oh, I bought some burial insurance, or sold some burial insurance to people a long time ago. And the premium was like $20 a month. But the benefit was just $5,000. It really was a pure burial plot type of insurance. And when I gave $5,000 to the people, I said, I wish it were more. Yeah, but it would have cost a hell of a lot more. And, it's just, this is the way the insurance game is played. Anyway, so how are we going to fix the Luigi health insurance? The only way to fix it is if we go to universal health care. And we almost had it. But then people chickened out. People started using the socialist medicine scare. Oh, communism's coming to our country. Communism is coming to our country, right? Socialist medicine. Meanwhile, who's fearing Trump? Bringing his autocratic ways. Autocracy. That's almost a bad byproduct of communism. But, this is where Republicans flip over and say, oh, well, autocrats are fine if there are autocrats. But Republicans can't stand universal health care. It's communist. I don't get it, because I think Medicare is probably, it is the best insurance you can get. And here's the thing that if you're watching ads, there's a Medicare Advantage. That's what the corporations have put out there as, oh, now this is something that costs you nothing. You're covered, but it costs you. And this is a thing that corporations, private healthcare corporations have come up with, private insurers have come up with to battle Medicare, because people can buy Medicare supplements to cover the gaps in your Medicare coverage. But now that the insurers are trying to negate Medicare by, instead of offering you Medicare supplements, they're offering this Medicare Advantage, which allows for lower premiums, but it's kind of deceptive because it kind of breaks everything up into a la carte services when you need them. And then, of course, when you need them, the cost, you're going to pay the piper at some point, and the cost will be high. And then you say, why didn't I get the gold standard, the Medicare? I got Medicare Advantage because I was cheap. Well, if you're healthy, yeah, it might work. It's cheaper. But Medicare Advantage, if you want to be totally honest, it only benefits the Medicare Advantage salespeople. They get a nice profit, a nice commission, and that's why the insurers are pushing it. Because if you want the gold standard of insurance, you're going to get Medicare. That's universal health care. And that's good. But even there's things that are starting to erode, like not all people want to accept it. Doctors, that is. And some people like to just poo-poo Medicare, but basically it's universal health insurance for older people. And it's the best insurance you can get. Really, the best insurance money can buy. And why isn't it available to other people, younger, who are parts of groups? See, that's the thing, got to be part of a group. That pool's got to be big. That's why the employer group was so important for a long time while they were trying to push universal health care. And then that died because some people said, I want my own doctor. Well, you can get your own plan, but you got to join the group. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of it is explanation. If you can explain this to people, you might get people to side with you. But doing that is harder and harder. And ultimately with Luigi has shined a light on the problem of healthcare, but people still don't understand, well, why is this bad? Why does it have to be as bad as it is? And when the CEO or the one of the top guys at United Healthcare in the New York Times today, Andrew Whitty, said, hey, look, we know it's a broken system. Let's fix it. How do you fix it? I think a lot of it could be better communication. Understanding why you're getting rejected. And if you understand why you're getting it rejected, maybe you'll understand why people who advocate for universal health care, why they're not crazy. You say, oh, universal health care is not socialist medicine. We need that. We need to cover that. I mean, as it is, the Republicans hate Obamacare, which isn't exactly socialized. It's not socialized medicine. It's care that gets rid of that pre-existing conditions clause. It's care that allows people who were one time just shut out. The tens of millions of people were shut out with no insurance. Now they can get insurance. Republicans want that ended. Trump wants to end that. That's the truth. Someone was talking about, oh, Trump lies so much. Lawrence O'Donnell was talking about how that's the case with Trump on little lies, like little lies on his analogies that he makes, little lies about, the estate tax. He misspeaks a lot. And whenever he misspeaks, no one says boo. No one says a word. It's like, oh, that's Trump. Meanwhile, the right-wing media is like looking, they're watching like a hawk. Biden misspeaks, any Democrat misspeaks. Oh, my goodness. So anyway, it is hard though. I mean, the point about last night, Larry was talking, said there's such a flood of misinformation. It's hard to keep up. That's why, on this Luigi thing, it's going to still exist as a murder case. He's got a lawyer who has has the Trump kind of mindset. He's not going to let up. Trump kind of mindset. Oh, of course he wasn't there. Oh, the gun doesn't. Show me the evidence. I mean, if you want to win cases like that, you got to go into that delay, deny kind of mode. Oh, unrelated, sort of a cousin to the medical insurance, delay and deny. But it's all about fighting, being litigious. But you're right. If you're up for a murder, you got to fight. I mean, that's Trump's strategy, and he won't admit it, but we got the record. He loses on that Trump University case. He lost that, had to pay, but he delayed. Filipino Americans know about delay. Filipino veterans who sued for their military benefits for fighting in World War II alongside whites, denied by the Rescission Act of 1946, denied their right to citizenship. They sued, kept fighting Congress till most of them had died. But that's what happens, Congress wouldn't give in to the Filipino vets. And the only thing that saved the Filipino vets, 2009, Barack Obama stuck a bill in the omnibus spending bill to allow for Filipino vets still in the Philippines to get paid, and also the vets here who were denied citizenship and denied benefits, they got paid too. That's how Washington works. It's kind of... So I don't know what's going to happen with Luigi and healthcare. You hear Bernie Sanders speaking out about, once again, universal healthcare, Medicare for all. You saw what happened to Kamala Harris. She did a quick reverse, a quick about face. Say, those were old views. I've tempered my views. Well, that's the way it is in politics if you want to survive. I think we're seeing people now just wanting to survive. When Zuckerberg and who else? Jeff Bezos says they're giving $1 million to the inaugural party. You know what that's about. It's the silent sucking sound of Washington. Although not so silent, you can hear it. You can hear it from far away. You can hear it from far away. Yeah, I'm still following the Luigi story. I'm still fascinated because people are fascinated about, why were people gleeful? They weren't necessarily gleeful that a CEO was shot, but in some ways, Luigi's like the Robin Hood. He's a bad guy who gets cheered because he's fighting the evil capitalists who are making money off just regular people who need help. And that's the perception. Not right. There's always a better way to advocate for a change. The very basic thing is by voting. Very basic thing is by showing up at a council meeting or some kind of political meeting, expressing your views before Congress or whatever. But we're talking this, what Luigi did, Luigi Mangione, is an act of political violence. And that can never be condoned. Never. No. Never condoned. Not a good thing. But we'll be following his trial because he'll be justifying, he'll be debating a lot of these points. If there were motivations, we'll be hearing about it, we'll be talking about it, and maybe it'll force some people in power and leadership to make some changes, you know. All right, that's it. Hey, my buddy Dan Gonzalez, speaking of, I was out yesterday because I didn't want to show up swollen. I had, all puffed up. Dental implants. Cosmetic only, remember. But, it calmed down. But Dan had to do some things today. And so we'll be back tomorrow. We'll pop up probably around 10:30, 11 o'clock and talk about the week in review. Probably not about the 49ers season is over. I'm not going to. It's just sad, you have such high hopes and then you just have to let go. Let go. Oh, my guru guy, always good. Let go. It's just, forget the outside. Forget the exterior. It's all on the inside. That's the important part. Let go. Let go. All right. So back tomorrow. We'll do a live thing. Check out Patreon, patreon.com/Emil Amok, Emil Amok. Hey, check out the poetry of my friends. Carla Blank has a new book, A Jew in Ramallah and Other Essays, Baraka Books. Check it out on Amazon or wherever you buy books. Also, her husband, Ishmael Reed, Why the Black Hole Sings the Blues, 2007 to 2020. That's his most recent book of poetry, which is, one of my favorites of his writings. I mean, Ishmael does so much. His essays, his novels, but his poetry. I mean, he also does jazz, but his poetry especially somehow speaks to me why the blackbird sings the blues. Or black hole, excuse me, Why the Black Hole Sings the Blues. That's also available on Amazon. So I'm back in tomorrow. I'm going to leave you with a little loving kindness. I is sometimes, something will happen. I'll get upset or I want to lash out, and sometimes a simple counting to 10, concentrating on my breath. Sometimes it helps. It keeps me from turning love to hate, and it produces the miracle of love. I know, hard to believe, but it's true. I mean, and ultimately it's the answer when you consider what's going on politically. Can't stand it. The transformation takes place sometimes when you let it go. Doesn't mean you give up the fight. Doesn't mean you lay down your principles. But it means you don't get angry. That's important. So a little loving kindness as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. Mahal